All right, boys and girls, welcome back to the drive-through as we get into the second quarter of pacing, chapter 4. Okay, this is a very wordy PDF. We're going to do most of it. I like it, but I don't like all of it, so some of it we will skip over. Okay, I'd like you to take time to pause the video now and read this big problem situation. Okay, so hopefully you've read the situation, and this section is all about solving equations. Okay, so what's happened is we've gotten 4 cartons of trays, and we don't know how many trays are in each carton. Okay, we never counted, we just got ahead of ourselves. We know that 24 cartons were used by the students that were in the pizza line. So we unloaded 4 cartons of pizza, and then 24 of them were used. At this time, Elvira decides to divide the remaining trays into 3 equal groups. So however many were left, she just stacked them into 3 equal groups. And then after doing so, she realizes that each of these serving lines has 12 trays. So we can maybe use this information to figure out how many trays were there in each of the cartons that I unloaded. So notice that I have an equation. What makes it an equation? Well, it has an equal sign. That's actually very important. I don't think we teach that very well in school. Okay? Help the cafeteria manage to answer the question. Okay, so when you solve these equations, and I know you've been solving equations this year, but now we're really going to focus on how to do it. You do, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, but you do it backwards. Okay, you do it backwards. And what you have to understand about this problem is that there is actually a parentheses that is assumed to be written around this 4c minus 24, because we are dividing the entire thing by 3. Okay? So, I don't get rid of the addition and subtraction first in this one because that is in a parentheses. So I don't have any addition and subtraction to get through right away. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the division. How do I get rid of division? I multiply. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. Okay? 3 divided by 3 is 1. So now I have 4c minus 24 equals 36. Okay? So I have gotten rid of the division, and now I no longer need my parentheses because I'm not dividing everything by 3. So now my parentheses are gone, so I'll look back to PEMDAS, and I want to get rid of the addition and subtraction first. Remember, I'm going that way. That way. So how do I get rid of subtraction? I add. And that gives me 4c is 60. Okay? Divide each side by 4. And I get c is 15. So let me see if that's right. That means that each carton had 15 trays. So if I unloaded 4 cartons, 4 times 15 would be 60. And then if I did 60 minus 24, that would be 36. And if I divided those 36 by 3, it would give me 12. So that is correct. I'm very confident in my answer because I solved it and then I checked it. Okay? Well, Elvira is interested in collecting data about how many students use each of the tables during lunch period. She has recorded some post-it notes on to analyze later. Here are the notes. There are some students sitting at the front table. I got distracted by an incident at the back of the lunchroom and I forgot to count. Each of the students at the front table has been joined by a friend, which doubles the amount of students. So I think this would be X. There are some amount of students. We don't know how many students there are. I think this would be 2 times X. 4 more students have just taken seats with the students at the front table. This would be X plus 4. The students at the front table are separated into 3 equal-sized groups, and then 2 of them left, leaving only 1/3 of the students. So that would be 1/3 of X, which is the same thing as X divided by 3. And then, as the lunch period ends, there are still 12 students and we're just, essentially what they're doing here in this little activity, kids, young adults, is that you're just practicing taking English sentences and turning them into mathematical, or actually English expressions, and turning them into mathematical expressions. These are not mathematical sentences yet until we get to the end when we get to equals 12. Okay? And we can't really figure out how many students were sitting at the front table at first unless we knew that these post-it notes were ordered sequentially, and we do not know that yet. Okay? So this is kind of where I'm going to go off a little bit. Does it matter which order the notes were recorded in? Absolutely. Yes, it does. Okay? Instead of going through and determining, I'm just going to tell you the order definitely matters. If you think about it, we could have 1, 2, 3 different scenarios, and they all, I think, are going to give us different answers for X, but we'll solve each one of them. The only thing I want you to be reminded of is, if you have a big division sign, there is a parentheses on top that you cannot see. And that's just math people being lazy. But math people are all lazy. That's where math comes from. So get used to that. Okay, so let's solve each one of these. We'll solve this one first. I'm just rewriting the problem correctly, which is something that I would definitely do wrong when I was in high school, because I just made all sorts of careless mistakes. Now, we want to work backwards from "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally." So we have 2 options here. We can get rid of the multiplication, or we can get rid of the division. I don't like fractions, so I always get rid of the division first, because 3 divided by 3 is 1. So that leaves us with 1 times 2x plus 4 equals 36. Now, this next step is completely up to you. Some of you want to distribute. That's fine. You can distribute. Some of you want to divide by 2. That's fine too. You can divide by 2. I'll go ahead and distribute, because that gets me into an equation that I'm really comfortable solving. Subtract 8 from both sides. Divide each side by 2. And for the first one, you get x equals 14. Let's plug it in. 14 plus 4 is 18. 2 times 18 is 36. 36 divided by 3 is 12, so that definitely works. Alright, we'll do this one in purple. And I'm just going to draw a little divider here. 2 times x over 3 plus 4 is 12. We want to get rid of the parentheses last, so we want to get rid of this multiply by 2 first. How do we get rid of multiplying by 2? Divide by 2. But I have to divide each side by 2, so I get 6 is x over 3 plus 4. add 4 to both sides because we're going to get rid of the addition and subtraction before we get rid of the multiplication and division. Because we are working PEMDAS backwards. You get x over 3 is 2. Multiply both sides by 3. And you get x equals 6. And notice that's different. So the order does matter, but that's what I skipped. We knew that already. We'll go in black for this one. 2x plus 4 over 3 equals 12. Multiply both sides by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 1 times 2x plus 4 is 2x plus 4. 12 times 3 is 36. Remember, that's not 1, 2, 3, it's a times. I want to get rid of the addition and subtraction first, so I subtract 4. And then I divide each side. You get x equals 16. So notice you get a different answer for each problem. So the order of the post-it notes does matter. Okay, now, I'm looking forward to helping you on your homework, but I just want you guys to list those videos on the video request board, and I'll get those up as soon as you ask. Have a great day. Boom!